In this video, I'm going to show you how to edit something that you digitized. The first thing we want to do is select the image that we want to update. Right now I have this one selected. I can select it by clicking directly on it, or I can go into my sewing order and select it by right-clicking on it and hitting select. You know you have the image selected when you see the black editing nodes around it. So let's say part of my editing is I want to, maybe I haven't traced it perfectly and I want to fine-tune the edges. I'm going to come up here on my Home tab and use my drop down on my select and choose the middle icon and select that one, and now you'll notice on the design I have the editing points. So I can select one. I know I have it selected because it is highlighted now, and I can just use my mouse and move it, and that fine-tunes it, and you can see the stitches moving with it. You'll notice I also have an arrow right here, and that's the direction of the stitch. I can just move that and the stitches are going to follow suit. There's no need to hit apply. It's instantaneous. So that lets me fine-tune the perimeter of the design and change the stitches. But what if I also want to change the stitch? Maybe I don't like the stitch that's chosen. I'm going to come back here, go back to my selector. I can get rid of those editing points. And then because I have it selected, I have a Shapes tab. Okay? Here are my properties for the two different types of stitches. I have an outline stitch and I have a region area stitch. When I use the drop down, I can change it from any of these stitches for your outline. You have a zigzag, aka a satin stitch, motif, candle wicking. So say I want to choose it to a motif. I just have to remember with the Brother software that I have properties associated with that. There are choices that have to be made. So it's going to default to the first motif stitch, but when I click on that, there are tons of them available. I can choose this one and hit OK, and it's going to update that stitch. I can also come in here and change the size of it. I can maintain the aspect ratio, so maintain it on both of them, and it's instantaneous that it's going to make that change. I've changed the outline, but I can also change the region area. If I change it to a cross stitch, it's just going to have properties associated with that as well. If I scroll down here, the yellow area represents my outline, the blue area represents my region. Those are my properties for the different types of stitches. I can make them smaller, bigger, and it's going to give them to me instantaneously. And then if I wanted it to be a triple stitch, it's now a triple stitch. So again, to change the parameter of the design, you would go under your select and choose your editing, and it brings up all your editing nodes. To change the stitch type, I come up to my top toolbar under Shapes and use the drop down to change the different types of stitch. And just remember that when I change the stitch, to come over onto the right hand side and adjust those attributes. There are tons of attributes associated with both the outline and the region area depending on the stitch that you have chosen. That concludes the video, how to edit an image that you have digitized.